In the red corner, standing at 6'2" and weighing in at a muscle-bound 227 pounds, it's the Duke, Tommy Morrison. Tommy would be coming into this fight with some big wins under his belt, including a one-sided beatdown of an aging George Forman and a first-round knockout of James Tillis. Pacing up and down in the opposite corner would be the 6'3" powerhouse Donovan Razor Ruddock. Razor would tip the scales at a massive 244 pounds, a whopping 20 pounds heavier than Tommy. Donovan's record, like the Duke, would be similar, both fighting the heavyweight boxing legends of the 90s, with both contenders only losing to the very best in the division. Tommy Morrison's fight against Razor Ruddock in the summer of 1995 is often remembered as an all-out punch fest of two hard-hitting heavyweights with reputations built on immense knockout power. Tommy Morrison had risen to prominence as one of the most promising American heavyweights. He was known for his exceptional up-close and personal fighting style, a product of his heavy-handed left hook and thunderous right hand. Morrison had a reputation for knocking out his opponents with a single punch, and he entered the fight against Ruddock with an impressive professional record, boasting 44 wins and a jaw-breaking 38 KOs. Morrison was a force in the heavyweight division and a staple of the glam of the 1990s boxing world. Morrison, who had been under the guidance of legendary trainer Richie Giachetti, had established himself as a fighter with the potential to make an impact on the heavyweight scene. He had a brash, confident persona, constantly talking about his ability to punch with the best in the division. Although he had suffered a setback early in his career with a brutal loss to the merciless Ray Mercer in 1991, Morrison's quick comeback and subsequent victories had cemented his position as one of the top contenders. Razor Ruddock, on the other hand, was also known for his brutal knockout ability, particularly his devastating smash punch, a combination of a hook and an uppercut made famous by the big man himself. A Canadian heavyweight with proud Caribbean roots, Ruddock had come into the fight with a reputation as one of the hardest punchers in the division. He had defeated former world champion Michael Dokes and gained notoriety for his fierce battles against the legendary Iron Mike. Though Ruddock lost both bouts, he left a lasting impression with his resilience and raw punching power, with a fight style was predicated on relentless aggression, and he was often able to end fights quickly, leaving little room for his opponents to recover once he landed clean shots. With a record of 28 wins and 5 losses before facing Morrison, his record didn't jump out at the fans, but when taken into consideration the caliber of fighter Razor had lost to, he was considered a legitimate threat and a dangerous opponent. The contrast between Ruddock's heavy hands and Morrison's fast, explosive punches created an exciting narrative leading up to their encounter. Both Morrison and Ruddock were known for their fearsome knockout power, and this was arguably the defining feature of their respective careers. Tommy Morrison's punching power was regarded as one of the best in the heavyweight division during his prime. His ability to land quick, powerful combinations had earned him a reputation for ending fights with a single blow. On the other side was Razor's smash punch in particular. This was seen as a fight-ending weapon that could leave opponents dazed and on the canvas in an instant. He had knocked out several well-regarded fighters and had the ability to rock anyone he faced. With all the talk of punching styles, this really was billed as a 90s great heavyweight fight. For those who can remember, this fight really did live up to the hype. We take ourselves back to 1995, where the crowd was warmed up by the S-tier fighter Hansa Stone, Roberto Duran on the undercard. It's safe to say both fighters needed the win to stay in the favour of the heavyweight rankings, and if the rumours were true, both fighters needed the money, with each fighter getting paid a cool 50 grand each for the night's work.
There is Tommy Morrison in yet another walk. Gave Mike Tyson 2 difficult bouts, had a shot against Lennox Lewis that
become very cautious so they don't open up, but Tommy Morrison, with the exception of the George Forman fight,
was in any kind of a major fight several years ago, was against Lennox Lewis. Lewis caught him early and whacked him out early.
The left hooker, but that's a money punch for both guys.
Both guys have to do. Nice uppercut by Ruddock. Oh, there goes Morrison! Did and got whacked with an uppercut. Will Morrison box? Is there room to box? No, he's going to go after. He's moving now, but They wanted the 16-foot ring, Morrison. Now it may not serve him well if he...
And Ruddock will try to put him away here, loading up with everything. Hey, Morrison may have to pound his way out of
that left hook. What Morrison may have learned is that on the inside...
About Ruddock not using his right hand enough. There he did.
Was to win before against Joe Hip, against Carl the Truth Williams. He's done it.
Left hook and almost landed the right hand bomb, and Morrison answers with his uppercut.
So Tommy Morrison long, and you saw evidence why here in round one.
Having a 16-foot ring with somebody. Ruddock just missed with that. Well, based on the early results to this point, Ruddock did not parlay.
The first round would set a great pace for an absolute corker of a fight. A big uppercut in the first minute would see Tommy Morrison on the counter, but true to his big heart, he was back on his feet in a flash. Would the Duke be able to punch his way back into the fight, or would Razor have his wicked ways in the second round?
And it wasn't in a situation that Morrison had left himself open. They were tying each other up.
People think he would go down from any kind of right hand.
No, and Ruddock hadn't shown that another fight.
Their hero, Tommy Morrison. Ruddock lunges.
Morrison was busy backing off and was happy that the punch didn't get in, but to launch into it.
The hook blocked by Morrison. Davidson. Ruddock has done a nice defensive job. Good combination. Ruddock is not a guy that throws a lot of punches. There's the uppercut.
But he still paid for it.
Oh, he hurt Ruddock with a right uppercut. Razor Ruddock got rocked by the same punch.
Because of the gloves on the top of the rope being used as a support.
I guess. Like Morrison had a big advantage there that they took away from him. Tommy Morrison.
Ironically, the knockdown gets called after the major damage had been done because of three.
So in round two, it's Morrison's turn to hurt Ruddock.
What a turnaround for Tommy Morrison to be down in the first and score a standing 8 count in the second. I'm not sure what was said in his corner, but it worked. Ruddock would look to hold for the last 30 seconds to catch his breath and find his feet. With a round apiece, all would be square on the cards, but this fight wasn't seeing all 12 rounds.
Oh, big hook by Ruddock, and he lands an uppercut. Now remember, against Tommy Morrison and Razor Ruddock, Morrison was down in round one, Ruddock was down in round two. Razor Ruddock not only stood up, he took a little walk in his corner.
Maybe he wanted to clear his head.
Having very good left hands, but it's going to be right uppercut by both men that has been the big weapon in this fight. Halfway through round three, Morrison trying to use that jab. Well, the heavyweight division is spicing up for a variety of reasons, and here we have two, Bo and Jorge Gonzalez, who will get it on in a week or so in Las Vegas.
Morrison using his jab more in this round. A safe shot.
Is Ruddock looking again for the right uppercut?
Morrison went right to him.
They get tired because both men are showing some signs of it here. Good left.
The third round would bring just pure action, just what we expected from two massive inside fighters. Razor would look to land early on in the round, with the Duke seeing off the second half. This fight would be a close one, a game of punching chess at its best.
We head into round four.
And they also said establish yourself down low, which is a good idea to try to get under
in this fight.
They even gave him the numbers. 7-2. And Ruddock had that lightning knockdown with the uppercut.
And if he's not going to throw on the inside, he needs to get out.
But he can work his way out of it, as he did in the first round, and he's just missed with a couple of opportunities.
Fight against Terry Anderson recently, which Morrison looked dead after the fourth.
Morrison right in front of him and did not fire the uppercut. Now he gets it in.
He took some punishment.
Now, a moment ago, Ruddock had Tommy.
Same effectiveness.
And normally, you see a fighter go inside to try and buy some time, but in this,
Ruddock could pay though. Shows you how slow Ruddock is moving.
Ruddock cutting off the ring, sets up the right hand.
Good uppercut, but Morrison comes back and he's got Ruddock hurt. He hurt him with the left hook. Razor Ruddock is talking to him.
With a verbal spar at the end of the fourth, Razor would show his true pedigree. You'll have to hit him with something special if you intend to knock him down. Tommy would throw everything and the kitchen sink at the end of the fourth round. It truly was a 90s heavyweight great.
And right now we're watching what has turned into an interesting, even stylistic fight in certain ways.
With strong offensive skills, not the best chins.
Boxing as he did against George Forman, but oh my, took a big left. Oh, I don't know. A point being deducted. Right, there was no point deducted. They simply said we're going to give Morrison a moment or two.
And fighters should use
punches though in the last round or two. Now he is forcing Morrison back. That uppercut may have stunned Morrison.
Tommy Morrison
has proved to be quite interesting. And it ain't over yet. Morrison is not there as it was earlier.
Ruddock really taking advantage of the left hook scouting report.
He's cut over his left eye. It doesn't look like it. There's the Morrison attack to the body and then the uppercut to the head.
That they would get the decision or that the fight will go all the way.
But Ruddock landing some big shots here in this round. Just the body and then throw combination. He's unable to do that. Big hook for Ruddock. Morrison with a hook at the bell.
Both fighters with a sneaky connection after the bell. This fight was everything the crowd had paid for. The fifth would see a low blow from Razor, but just a warning this time. And the big Canadian would look to capitalise on the moment's rest. But Tommy would have other plans, finishing the round with a great combination.
We head into round 6. It is scheduled for 12.
Ruddock goes to the body here. Good hook. And one indication of...
Ruddock has fought once in the last 15 months against Anthony Wade. He won in a... There's a hook by Ruddock, and it may have hurt Morrison. Big left hook! Goes Razor Ruddock! There came the hook that we have not seen for rounds. Can Morrison put him down again? Ruddock getting up. What does Morrison have left? That counts the knockdown. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect.
And we've had a knockdown post to standing in. This counts as a knockdown to kill here. And Ron Lipton told standing 8 not in effect here. The 3 knockdown rule is not in effect because of flash knockdowns. Yet both fighters look like they can keep going.
Remember, Razor Ruddock was the judge of the year when he was... The fight was stopped against Mike Tyson by referee Richard Steele.
He needs to buy about 10 more seconds, and it's a long one. He will not do it.
Oh, my! Comes back to win. It's over. Toward the end of the round, Ron Lipton says, I have...
A perfect punch would see Tommy the Duke Morrison with a great knockout victory. Are you an old school fight fan? If so, give that subscribe button a stiff jab. I've been Frank Monroe here at Below the Belt Boxing. Take care.